Good morning, everybody. It is 5 Bullet plus a quote Friday. Now, I'm going to flip-flop this upside down a little bit. I'm going to start with a quote because I think this is so bloody good from Alex Hormozi. And to be honest, I've had it written down for months right at the bottom of my page and I forgot all about it. And as soon as I read it, I was like, oh, yeah, this is so good. I can't wait to tell everybody. Right, here it is. Any skill in the world that you want to get is available for less than £30,000. So any skill that you want to acquire is available for less than £30,000. You can get training to make money. You can get training on anything in the world. What the hell do I mean? What the hell does Alex mean? I'll give you an example. So I wanted to know how to buy a business. I've never bought a business in my life, ever. And so what did I do? I found the most vocal person out there. I found that somebody who has bought over 50 businesses in the last 2 years. And I got in contact with him and said, listen, can you teach me how to do it? He doesn't work one-on-one with anybody. He's never worked one-on-one with everybody. I'm part of his mastermind, but he's never worked one-on-one. Me in a mastermind, it doesn't really work. I don't learn like that. I can't learn. I've got ADHD, or what my wife thinks of ADHD. I get bored really, really easy. We're at a party. She goes, why are you bored? Why are you bored with your friends and family? I don't know. I get bored. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so in a room, in a classroom, that's not me. I can't learn. I can't keep concentrating. All of a sudden, I realize I'm going thinking about other things. And so I got in contact with a guy and said, listen, can you work one-on-one with me? Can you please teach me how to acquire a business? What do I need to do? You give me steps to do and I'll bloody do them. But can it be an hour? And so he got back to me and said, yeah, I can do it for £10,000. £10,000 and we give you 26 lessons, 26 hours for the year. Brilliant. Guess what? I've used 5 of them, paid in 10 grand. But why? Because within 5 hours, I'd learned everything I needed to know. Don't get me wrong, I can get better and better and better. But I had the skills to go out there and buy a business. I bought Wrexham. And boom, there we go. We've got a business that is going to be generating £150,000 profit a year. And I bought it. The money I put in was £24,000. That is it. Why? Because I acquired the skills. So what I'm saying, if you want to learn pay-per-clicks marketing, if you want to learn Facebook marketing, if you want to learn SEO, whatever, you can go out there and you can get in touch with the very, very best person and you can say, excuse us, mate, dude, dudette, teach me how to do this. I'll pay you. And like Alex says, he paid Grant Cardone £30,000 for an hour of his time. And he also paid this Facebook ads expert £6,000 for, I don't know how long it was. It wasn't very long. It was like 3 or 4 hours to teach him Facebook ads. And that has made him over £10 million. So what I'm saying, there is skills that you can acquire for less than £30,000 and they can blow up your business or make a difference to you personally. Can you imagine if you was a pay-per-clicks expert, how much you could make? And you can do that. You can be the expert. You just need to learn from an expert or from somebody who's in front of you. So any skill that you want to acquire in the world is available for less than £30,000. And you can turn that into a £10 million a year business. That's what Alex Hormozi says. Don't get me wrong. You need to educate yourself how to turn that skill into £10 million, but it is possible. It is without doubt possible. You can have a pay-per-clicks agency, a Facebook marketing agency, and not just do it for one person, but do it for multiple people. So you can do that. And the skills are out there. People are willing to help you if you pay them. Right. Okay. So let's get on to 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Number 1, don't buy yourself into a room, earn yourself into a room. Feel like you belong in that room by earning the privilege. This was on the My First Million podcast from a guy called Andrew Wilkinson. Andrew Wilkinson owns a holding company called Tiny. They basically buy loads of businesses. And now I think the market cap at the minute is $600 million at the minute. So incredible businessman. And he was basically saying that he subscribed to this, this agency where you could pay to be in any room, because if you've got enough money, you can buy yourself into a room. So he was talking about that he said that he loves movies. And so this company said, well, I'll tell you what, if you love movies, because this company fulfills your dreams, basically, whatever, Richmond's dreams. And so they basically take away the no. So if you want something, you get in. He said, well, the company said to him, well, do you want to go to the Oscars? And he said, well, yeah, go on. It's pretty cool. And so he paid £500 for a haircut. He's paid a stupidly expensive waistcoat and dress for his wife and stuff, and spent a hell of a lot of money. Went to the Oscars, went to this after party where he said there was only A and B celebrities in there. He said everybody was there that you knew, and he was talking about people who was at the bar. Him and his wife was just there, and he's quite a people person. So he was going around talking to people, introducing himself. And he said that you can absolutely glaze over. You could see people glazing over as soon as he mentioned that he wasn't in the industry, that he wasn't in movies. And why? Because he bought himself into the room. He didn't earn himself into the room. So since then, well, after that party, he realized that during the party, he realized that people weren't interested in him as a person. So because they just were celebrities, it was a mismatch. And so what he did was he just started people watching, that's it, and went into his own little shell and stuff. And he realized that from now on, I'm going to earn myself into any room. I don't want to buy myself into a room, because I can buy myself into any room. I want to earn myself into these rooms. And so what he did was I don't think it was on purpose, but he's bought a company to do with acting now. And so when he does go to the Oscars again, he's earned himself into that room, because it's a talent agency or something. And so he can talk to the people in there. And so his big takeaway was, don't buy yourself into rooms, earn your way into a room. And I love that. I thought it was a great, great, beautiful takeaway. Number 2, it's going to be very, very simple and straightforward. You are not a tree. You can change. I absolutely love this. So whatever it is, whatever your downsides, because I know that I was talking to the wife this morning, and I can be quite, I think the word's condescending, or talk down to, I don't mean to talk down to people, but she said that I talk down to her sometimes, because I was like, what? I used to do that when you was at work. But yeah, I said, the one job you had, and you didn't do it. And she said to me, that's really condescending. I was like, yeah, it probably is. Right. Okay, I can change. I'm not a tree. I can change. And you're not a tree. You can change. So whatever bad habits you have, you can change, because you are not a tree. Just believe that you and whatever it is can change. Okay? You are not a tree. You can change. Now, this one happens to me. Number 3, Hanlon's razor. Have you ever heard of this saying, Hanlon's razor? I hadn't even, so leave it there. Hanlon's razor basically says, never attribute to malice that can otherwise be attributed to ignorance or stupidity. Basically, never assume negative intent. But everybody does. Give me an example, Dean, because I still don't get it. Okay, you've got it. You send an email to someone and you don't get a response. So straight away, you think, well, that absolute fucking wanker. I can't believe it. That absolute dickhead. Why didn't you reply? But then we don't, and you think that they're not interested, that whatever, you've got this negativity, this negative intent that is connected now to that. But just remember, it could be that they are busy, they've got kids, they've got life gets in the way. It could be for a whole host of reasons. So never, ever assume negative intent, because there's a whole host of reasons. So that's called Hanlon's razor. Now, this happened to me in the week. For those of you who know me, I am shocking at getting back in touch with people. Text messages, emails, DMs, whatever it is. I don't know what's wrong with me. I am terrible at it, absolutely terrible at it. And people who know me now know that it's not negative intent, that I don't do it negatively. I don't do it on purpose. But this one particular person didn't know me, didn't know that, and took exception to it and thought it was a negative intent connected to it. And I was listening to My First Million again. I love that bloody podcast. And they said, Hanlon's razor. Have you heard of it? And I was like, no, what is it? And then as soon as I said it, I was like, oh my God, yes. So Hanlon's razor. Basically, never assume negative intent when somebody or something upsets you, or you don't know the reason behind it, basically. Another example, I believe, and I say this to my wife all the time, we was on the motorway just the other day, and somebody was driving like an absolute donut, an absolute idiot, right up people's asses, in and out, in and out. And I use this analogy all the time. And we assume negative intent, that guy's just a dick. But he might not be. He might not be. His wife might have gone into labor. His kid might be in hospital. We don't know. We don't have enough information. But straight away, we go to our negative side of our brain, and we shouldn't, because we don't have all information. So if you don't get a response from somebody, there could be 1,001 reasons. If somebody's been a dick for whatever reason and pushing in and not being very charitable, again, we don't know. But don't assume negative intent. Number 4. Now, this is perfect when I heard this on some business podcast. Nose in, hands out. In business, you need to be nose in, but hands out. Leaders, owners, business, CEOs. Nose in, hands out. So that basically means if you go into a meeting, you do not want to be walking out with loads of to-dos. That is not your job. I can only speak for me, because I don't know your situation, your scenario. Obviously, if you're a manager and working for somebody, then that is your job. But if this is for me, I don't want to be doing that, because that's not my job. That's not my forte. That's not what I should be focusing on the business. I should be focusing externally rather than internally in the business. So I don't want to be going into a meeting with out of a meeting with loads of notes and to-dos. That shouldn't be my job. And so it nose in, hands out for CEOs, managers, if you're managing somebody else. But this is just basically for me, nose in, hands out. And I was like, yes, I love that. It was a business owner talking about what makes a difference for him and why he is so good. And I was like, that's bloody good. Number 5, I'm going to leave this with you, my friends. This is beautiful. There's a girl on TikTok who, she's brought out a book as well. It's the most amazing book, but she works in a hospice, end of life. And honestly, it is, every time I listen to her, I can cry, because she's so positive, and she's all the time talking about the good and how amazing her life is and how lucky and blessed she is to have these amazing experiences with people. And because of working in a hospice now, she is absolutely convinced with the afterlife because of what happens. People start seeing people, their loved ones, people who's previously died, and there's no scientific reason or evidence, or that there's nobody who's figured out why this happens. There's nothing inside the brain that can do this. And people say, my grandma's come to take me tomorrow. My grandma's here now. She's over there. My grandma's to come. And there's none of that drugs that can do it. There's nothing that's I don't know, there's nothing scientifically that's made this girl think anything other than there's something in the afterlife. Anyway, I'm not very good at explaining that. Something she said that was really, really good was, keep asking yourself, when's your next beautiful and meaningful moment? When is your next meaningful and beautiful moment? When you ask yourself that question, you will see more magical moments all around you, and you will appreciate them. So just keep asking yourself, like, a magical moment could be anything. As soon as I read this and wrote it down, the next day, I was taking my kid to school, and he just said something stupid about something, not something stupid, but something that didn't mean anything massive. It wasn't huge. It was something mundane, like, oh, Dad, I can't wait today because I go swimming. And I said, well, why do you like swimming? He goes, well, because I get out of school. I was like, and he just smiled at me, and we like had a connection. I was like, he just smiled and looked me straight in the eyes, and I was like, oh my God, this is what she's talking about. This is a meaningful moment, but we gloss over these moments all the time. So if you keep asking yourself and aware of this, when is your next beautiful moment? When is your next meaningful moment? If you keep that at the front of mind, then you will have more of these moments, because you'll be aware of them and you'll appreciate them and you'll see them. But without asking yourself that, you kind of don't appreciate it. And I don't appreciate it either. It just gets glossed over with the day-to-day life and running around, always busy. So just keep asking yourself, when is the next meaningful moment this weekend? When's the next beautiful moment? And I promise you, it'll be all around you. There'll be moments, there'll be little moments in every single day that are beautiful. And we just gloss over them. Life is giving us a gift, a present every day, and we just don't pick it up. We don't see it. But the more we ask ourselves this, the more we'll appreciate it, the more we'll see it. All right, my friends, that is it. I'm going to leave you for the weekend. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me rabbit on about this 5 Bullet Friday. I really, really enjoy it. And it's probably more for me than anybody else, because when I write things down, I remember things. And so first of all, I'll write them down and then I read them back again like today. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's so good. And I do think it makes me a better human being, and it keeps me accountable to being better. Like straight away, one thing today, you are not a tree, you can change. I'm like, yeah, I can change. I don't mean to talk down to people, but I can see what you mean, Claire, when you said, well, you haven't done it. Why haven't you done it? I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't do that. So I need to be better at that, so we can all change. We can all be better. All right, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on Monday morning. Have a wonderful weekend. Hacking Self Stories listeners, I'll see you on Monday morning. Motivated Entrepreneurs, I'll see you next Friday. All right, I love you. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.